pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Garavalia? Here. Commissioner Shores? Commissioner Perkins?
Present.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Here.
Mayor Condon?
Here. Let's see here. I'm reading the minutes and approval of minutes, Commissioner Garavalia.
Yes, everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes. And I would like to make a motion that we approve these minutes.
Second.
Commissioner Garavalia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to skip down to public affairs reports. We have a presentation from Azavar Business Solutions.
I guess I'm coming downstairs.
Here, Molly. I guess let the note state that Azavar was not present. Discussion and approval of submitting sealed bid on specific property. Is the zoning commissioner here, please?
He shouldn't be.
No, he's calling for you. The boss is calling for you.
I thought it would be a little bit later than this.
No, I'm trying, I know you had some things to do this evening, that's why I'm trying to.
Right here, that's my main job. That's it. Dedicated.
Okay, this is discussion and or approval of submitting a sealed bid on specific property.
Yes, sir.
Zoning administrator, Garavalia.
Basically, what we'd be looking at here, folks, is there's some Josephine Marr property coming up for bid. Josephine Marr, they buy properties that nobody else will buy for taxes, and to try to get them back on the tax rolls, they'll get a tax deed, and then they're going to sell them for a minimum bid of $850. I've got three picked out here. One's over on 208 West Curry Street. It's been sitting there, we've been mowing it for about 3 years. I'll show this to the public here, they can see that too.
Say Perry?
Parrish, P-A-R-R-I-S-H.
Thank you.
Yeah, that needs to be demolished, and I think the lady next door may be interested in purchasing it, but without a house. She don't want to buy it and tear it down. She might be able to purchase it from us. Another one here is over on Grand Street, just north of the street department. It's a trailer with a garage. And we've been on that for 3 years. That's 1,000 Grand Street. It'd be good for the street department to purchase. Another one is on 308 North Buchanan Street. And this thing needs to be taken down. I was hoping the next door neighbor was going to tear it down. I was told that he's no longer interested in doing that by him today whenever I called him. And this has been abandoned for a long time. The trees are taller than the two-story house. So this thing really needs to, we've been mowing that for 3 years too. Whenever I say 3 years, that's only my personal knowledge. I don't know what the people did before I. So what we can do is contact Joseph E. Myers, I've got a letter prepared where we'd be interested in purchasing these properties. And as soon as they sell those to us, then we would proceed to get them demolished. I think the street department could demolish the one on Grand Street there without any difficulties this fall or winter. That two-story house, we're gonna have to incur some expenses on that. It's next to an alley, so that's a good thing, because the other side is next to a house. And that one on Ferry Street is kind of a small house, and it's just stuck there, and it's grown up, and it's a terrible eyesore, and a terrible condition. This is an easy way to maybe clean up a couple, 3 neighborhoods, and keep on progressing here. We've got 5 demolitions ready to go, 9 pending, and 3 we can buy here, so. Going forward, I'm cleaning up that Illinois.
So you'd ask for a motion for you to contact Joseph Myers to move forward with those,
Yes.
is my understanding?
I'd like to make a motion that we give the zoning, sorry, I'm writing this as you're talking. That we give the Sierra Valley Commission to contact and make an offer to purchase those 3 pieces of property.
I'll second.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messersohn?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have a nice evening.
Zoning administrator. Commissioner.
Czar.
Zoning czar, there we go.
Did you say 5 ready, 9 pending, and those 3?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I make sure I'm writing it down correctly.
Keep getting more all the time.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll get the letter out immediately here.
Appreciate you coming by, David, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, part C is discussion or approval moving forward with licensing and zoning for the sale of distribution of cannabis. Even though cannabis has grabbed the spotlight, since the governor announced that it will be legal on January the 1st in Illinois, there is just a tremendous amount of hoops to jump through. A lot of us went to IML convention in Chicago, went to seminars. We're going to a seminar tomorrow. A lot of us are at the Ren Lake complex. I think I'm going to use the word ambiguous is what the attorneys use for the seminars we went to right now. So for us to decide and try to filter through of what the city of Benton needs to do is going to take time. It's going to take effort. I'm going to appoint a 3-person board to investigate what is best for Benton, what is out there, what eventually will be known to be right for the city of Benton. So I'm going to bring it back to the council for discussion. Going to appoint zoning administrator David Garvelia because zoning is an incredible important part of dispensary in Illinois. Legal is Tom Malkovich, and the mayor will be also sitting on the board. So we'll have this board, we'll do some research. I don't feel like time is of the essence. I feel like that we have a lot of time to decide what we're going to do. So that's my recommendation.
So I'll make that motion for that committee, for that board.
I make a motion that a committee be formed for the, looking into the cannabis, and I would make it to be as the mayor suggested, Mayor Coninger, the zoning administrator, and Tom Malkovich, our attorney.
Second.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messersohn?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
Okay, surfing up to number 4, public property report, Commissioner Perkins.
I have no purchase orders as of tonight, but I do have some exciting news that'll be given by our water and sewer superintendent, Craig Miles. So,
I've been working with Greater Regional Planning Commission for the last 10 months, trying to secure a water main project and do a grant, and we actually got that grant today. I got the notice today, we got the grant for $206,000 to go into that water main project. Total project was $300,000, so that'll cover most of the project, so great news for the city of Benton. Very happy.
Thank you, Craig.
Other than that, I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
And thank you, Commissioner.
I'll keep it short, sweet, like you want.
Streets and improvements, the Commissioner mentioned.
Sure. I only have one bill for approval tonight. It's from John H. Crawford, and it's the final payment on the, that you see in your folder, on the Washington Street project in the design phase. And this just closes out that part, and then it sets up the next part where they can begin moving forward as we anticipate needing to walk through the process of getting variances and getting access and all the other fun things that we do to continue the project moving forward. So I just make a motion that we approve this final payment to close this portion of the project out.
Second.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messersohn?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes. I do want to say one thing, that on the North Main project, Water Department, we just got the project done, so the water line has been relocated, and now we are waiting for the resurfacing of North Main. And any time, I would expect that they would begin that. They were supposed to start last week, we got slowed down on the job.
They moved over to 149, and they finished up there, they'll be back here, so.
Yeah, so the hope is within the next week or two, the refinishing of North Main will begin, and once that's done, then they will redo the sidewalks. So by the holidays, I would hope, fingers crossed, that all of North Main will be resurfaced.
Very exciting.
So,
Thank you very much.
this look good. Nice. Look somewhere else. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
That's good news.
That's all I have.
Okay, I don't think that Commissioner Story had anything. Is there something, Mr. Mayor, he's had a previous engagement, he couldn't be here tonight. So we'll go on to Accounts and Finance Report, Commissioner Garvelia.
First, we need to discuss and approve the purchase, or any purchase orders and monthly bills. And I have no purchase orders, but I would like to go over the monthly bills, which total $430,230, $289.84, $430,299.84. That is a huge budget. I tell you, the bills come in. I'm amazed at what some of the things cost. One piece for one uniform of bunker gear, $2,000, 136 cents. Our fire commissioner here, or the fire chief. Anyways, things are so pricey. I'm just amazed at it. And it is very important that each commissioner looks at all of the bills and signs off on all of the bills, because one thing, when the auditors were here, this is something that we are supposed to be doing. Past councils have not been doing it, and I like to be in compliance with things. You know, we have rules and regs for a reason, and those reasons are there. So, I mean, we have honest people. I'm very thankful for all the girls in our departments. They are very, very honest and trustworthy. But those rules are in place for the prevention of, you know, for those who aren't trustworthy. And we're supposed to be looking, all of us as commissioners, this is part of what we signed up for. And it doesn't just fall on me. It's also, you know, a checks and balances that each commissioner looks at these bills. If you do not look at the bills and you do not sign off on the bills, you do not have the right to vote on the bills. Flat out. I mean, if you're voting on them and you're voting a lie, if you're approving bills that you have not seen, then you're not being honest. And it's just very important. And not only is a good checks and balance, but also you see what's spent in other departments. And sometimes I feel like a mom that the kids are all coming up with their hands out wanting things, and they don't realize, you know, what it takes to run the household. And if you don't look at all the bills, you don't realize what it takes to run the city. So, on this amount of $430,289.84, I make a motion that we approve the bills for this month.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
Next is the approval of payroll. And in the payroll, we have coming out of the general fund, $63,301.85. And coming out of the water and sewer is $27,000, or coming out of general fund is, the total is $63,301.85, of which water, the water and sewer is $27,012.50, which makes the total payroll $90,314.35. And I make a motion that we approve that.
Second that motion.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
And then, sewer adjustments, I have 3 tonight. And the sewer adjustments are first, the Benton Public Library, 502 South Main Street. They had a loss that occurred because of a leaking plastic tap, and it was under a rock bed, and there was no sign of a leak because of where it was located. However, they were notified of excessive water usage, which the water department notified them. So their remedy was to tighten up the water until the leak stopped, and to persistently check all faucets throughout the day and at closing time from now on. And this was signed by Susan Stickle from the Benton Public Library. And I think it's great that we are notified, we get notification when there's excessive usage in our water department, and an unaware customer can check and see what may be going awry in their system. And also that it can be measured by what the typical use is to see exactly what the loss is. So I do make a motion for Susan Stickle, or for the Benton Public Library, for that sewer adjustment.
I second that.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
Next, I have Randy R. Frank from 505 West 6th Street. I think that's 6. Is it? Okay. All right. And this is a swimming pool adjustment, and it has passed all the qualifications for the swimming pool, and it meets the timeline and has a fence and everything. So I make a motion that we approve the swimming pool sewer adjustment for Randy R. Frank.
If you want to hold there, and I'll second that motion, I guess. It's swimming in the pool.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
1 South 9th Street, and she had a broken pipe under her house, and she had it repaired, and I make a motion that she has the sewer adjustment approved.
Second.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
Okay, the next on the agenda. We all are quite aware that we have some great needs with the infrastructure in our town, just like other towns, other cities. We're aging and we need to tend to things, so we've been looking for ways to, and means to pay for those sewer and water infrastructure needs. So tonight I'm going to concentrate on, or bring some information about the sewer infrastructure. We've discussed, I'm going to go to number D, the amending of a resolution for a sewer surcharge. We've discussed the situation with Craig, our superintendent, and we have devised a plan to start accumulating some funds that will be needed to start the upgrade. And he already has some areas that he's eager to get started on. The first step is to amend the resolution for a sewer surcharge. Currently, that sewer surcharge is $2 per month, and it's restricted for debt reduction for the wastewater treatment plant loan. And we would like to unrestrict the $2 sewer charge that's set aside for debt reduction and restrict it in the current money in the sewer surcharge account for the sewer infrastructure improvements. The total in the surcharge account as of 9/30/19 is $141,803.40. The monthly amount that this surcharge generates is on average $5,000 a month. So I would like to make a motion that we
Second the motion.
So I understand, Commissioner Garvelia, you're going to do a motion to unrestrict the current amount. The current amount is $141,803.40.
yes.
Is what you want to do first.
Yes,
So we need
I'd
to
like
make a
to do
motion to
that.
unrestrict that.
That plus, yes,
That'd be the first
plus
motion.
the $2 surcharge, and also the amount that's in the account of $141,000 that's already in the account.
So you want the surcharge to be moved over to be for debt for the infrastructure? What do you want him to do with the $2 starting now?
I would like to unrestrict it.
Okay, so that's just, the funds are what's restricted, the $141,803.
Then I'd like to unrestrict those funds,
Okay.
first step.
So we need a motion to unrestrict those funds. It looks like it's from the funds for the wastewater treatment plant, so
Yes.
we need to amend that
For
resolution.
debt reduction.
So that's the first motion.
So Kathy, you're making the motion, you're seconding? Okay, Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Messerschmidt?
Okay, quickly, you're saying that the 141 you're unrestricting, and you're going to apply that 141 towards debt reduction?
Then we're gonna have to do a motion to restrict it for something new, but then we're gonna do another motion.
Okay, and what is
Right
it?
now, it's restricted for debt reduction for the sewer plant.
Okay, and you're unrestricting it to be used in what manner?
To go to put in a separate fund for infrastructure,
Okay.
which we will have to do in a separate
Okay,
resolution.
so you're,
Soliciting it from.
right, so
The
you're,
debt consolidation to get rid of the money to the area.
so then, if we unrestrict it, what are we going to use to go back towards debt consolidation?
We're generating enough funds. This is, it's building a surplus, with the $2
So $2 surcharge is building enough surplus to pay for the debt reduction, that which frees us this money so we can use it in a different way.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I was on the same page. Okay, yes. Sorry.
Mayor Condrip?
Yes. So now you need a motion to restrict those funds for wastewater infrastructure.
Right. Okay, so the step 2 of this is to amend the resolution for the transfer of the $55,000 per month from the revenue fund to the wastewater treatment plant fund. So I move a resolution to amend the transfer and restriction of the funds to the wastewater treatment plant. I'd like to make a resolution to amending the transfer and restriction of funds to the wastewater treatment plant.
Is that for debt reduction?
No, that's for the revenue fund. The semi-annual loan payment is $224,123.89, and in order to meet this obligation, it was $40,000 a month. So we'd like to amend the resolution to unrestrict the $55,000 per month and to re-restrict the $40,000 to be transferred monthly from the revenue fund to the wastewater treatment plant fund to be used for debt reduction. So I'd like to make that motion.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Merschman?
Yeah, I don't fully understand it, yes. I'd like to fully understand it better.
Okay.
I did vote, yes.
See, it takes $55,000, or we have $55,000, and we need to re-restrict the $40,000 to be transferred monthly from the revenue fund to the wastewater treatment fund to be used for debt reduction. So we have that $40,000. Now we need to make a resolution that we want to create a new resolution to restrict the $15,000 to be transferred monthly from the revenue fund to be used for the sewer infrastructure improvement.
Okay, I think we need to discuss this. I think we need to make a movement to have the treasurer available Thursday morning. Is everybody going to be available Thursday morning?
That's a lot, sure. Okay. That's not very sure.
I'd like to continue this meeting because I just don't think it's understanding.
Here, well, let's just for clarification, why don't we do this? I think you need to do a motion, you need to withdraw the first motion you made. You need to withdraw that motion, and then you second that motion. So would you do a motion to withdraw that, Commissioner
withdraw
Garvelia?
this motion.
And so you'll second that withdrawal.
Okay.
Okay, you can take a vote on that.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Merschman? Mayor Condrip?
Yes.
Okay. And then at the end of this meeting, we need to make a motion to continue this meeting to address D, E, F, and G with the treasurer present, and then you guys can set a time to do that, so that there's better clarification for the committee, from the council as well as the public.
Okay.
And we'll make that motion.
Does it need to be continued, or could it be tabled, as long as we have better explanation and come back?
You can table it if it doesn't need to be done next
Is
week.
it critical to be done within a certain timeline? Could it be tabled where we have the opportunity to get more information, and we can individually meet with the treasurer?
Clearly, if there's no deadline, Commissioner Garvelia, we can table
Would
it.
that be okay? That way, it wouldn't be time critical, we'd have to do a continuation.
That's not an issue. So then you just, so what we'll do now then, instead of waiting a minute, why don't you make a motion to table D, E, F, and G
I
under
make a
U?
motion that we table, D, E, and F under finance.
Thank you.
And you as well.
And G. Do we have a
Somebody second
second?
that?
Well, she didn't say G, so
Oh,
I,
I'm sorry.
And G.
Okay.
F and U.
sorry, I just like covered all the
Making sure we
bases.
got
Are you seconding?
I will second to table, so,
Okay. Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
absolutely.
Commissioner Messersohn?
Yes.
Mayor Condon?
Yes.
I think all I have.
Under miscellaneous business, number 10. Old business. New business, we have a short presentation from the AT&T FirstNet people to address the council. Normally, our presentations don't exceed 15 minutes, and that's
I'll be well under, I promise.
Okay.
Good evening, Council. My name is Alex Kaufman. This is RJ. I am your FirstNet consultant in the area. The reason I'm here is to kind of brief you and kind of discuss. I've only been able to look at your bills very limitedly, but I want to discuss FirstNet. I want to discuss the opportunities that we have in the city with FirstNet and the steps we can do in order to move forward and kind of get a proposal for you to then vote on and go from there. AT&T FirstNet is a prioritized network that AT&T actually had to bid for 18 months ago, where we were actually granted additional spectrum. With that spectrum, we since then created a public safety network that is solely for first responders and those who support them. Okay? That covers police, fire, EMS as primary. That covers schools, continuity of government, public safety, public works. All of those departments can fall underneath that. Okay? The benefit to this network is right now, you guys are on an AT&T plan and a Verizon plan. They're both consumer plans. Okay? They're linear. There is no network that is up or below them or network that can be prioritized over them. Okay? With AT&T FirstNet, we have that ability to prioritize those people, police, fire, EMS, continuity of government, public works, to actually, in an event of congestion, so if the towers are difficult getting connected to them, those people who are on this network actually will have prioritized access over them. Okay? So, this means that whenever you need to make a call, a police officer needs to make a call, a police officer needs to use their data device, they're going to be immediately put to the tower. Okay? Right now, it's a competition for towers. Okay? Everybody wants to make a call, everyone wants to get that tower. On the current networks that you are on, that's it. It's first come, first served. Whenever you switch over to FirstNet, those people who are on continuity of government and public safety will have prioritized access, so they will immediately go to the front of the line. They will immediately have access to that tower. Okay? That's the number one benefit of FirstNet. In addition to that, we also offer preemptiveness. Preemptiveness is during a congested event or something that happens, which is like a natural disaster. Everyone's hopping on their phones in close proximity to a tower. Okay? We can actually move people off of the tower onto towers that are further away, which may degrade their service, but they're not first responders, and that's what we're concerned about during that time. Our network is smart enough now, because of the spectrum, because of what we got from the government, where we can actually tell when events are going on, when the tower's congested, and when we actually need to move in. Okay? We are separate and different from Verizon in this fact that we have priority, they do not. Our priority is automatic. Okay? It is associated with a SIM card in the device that we put in there, that it will read the tower and recognize you as a user of the public safety network. Okay? In a nutshell, that's what we're looking to do. I've had, like I said, I've had a very limited opportunity to look at the bill, two bills, and usually we like one bill, because usually with two companies, there's opportunity to consolidate and probably save some money. So, any questions in regards to that? That's kind of a quick overview of exactly what it is.
Do you have literature, do you have something that you can provide the clerk with on?
Absolutely. I'll send you over everything I got. I got some really good stuff.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How often does congestion of a tower happen? With my cellular service, other than if I'm in the Shawnee, that doesn't have tower, I don't know that I ever have an issue with calls being dropped or complications making calls.
Absolutely.
Give me an example, I mean, where and when has that been an issue of accessing the tower and deprioritized and?
Great question.
And
2 weeks ago, Dupont, Illinois, I was working with their school district. They had to immediately evacuate school because of a train that went off the rail. During that time, all their kids got on their phones, everyone started live streaming, everyone started making calls. Teachers couldn't use their phones. They could not properly communicate with the rest of the staff to organize an evacuation successfully. They had to actually bring in fire and EMS to help, which on FirstNet, that's not a problem. So more so, it's not how the network's going when things are going well, it's how the network going when things are just, there's an event or an issue in the area. Tornadoes are in this area are examples of really what we really work against, because that's one of the major network disasters that we have in this area, is when those come through and we have network capability and networks are congested, we'll prioritize first responders and those who are continuity of government to be able to use their devices. So it's absolutely beneficial in those instances when you need your phone, we're there so you use your phone.
And you'll send that stuff over to me?
Yes, and we've got excellent pricing on devices right now. We're doing iPhones, XRs are 99 cents. It's government-backed pricing, so all my entities get the rock-bottom deals on devices. So, and really looking at your plan to see if there's opportunity to save money. Right now, you guys are using about 1.4 gigs on your Verizon plan, total between 4 MiFis, and you're paying over $106 a month to do so. It's a little high. So, but I'll send all of that over to you. We'll work a proposal for you, combine the plans and ship it over to you, and I'll send all the information.
That'd be great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Under 15, I believe, too, right?
Yes.
Thank you, council.
I do have one last extra thing on that. Now, this is also available on not just the agency side, which is the city paying for those phones. This is also paid for in the subscriber side. For example, your first responders. Your firefighter, your EMS who do not get company-provided phones by the city are also eligible to join into that FirstNet network on their own entity with one phone, one tablet, one smartwatch. That way, for who you don't provide, because I only saw those 4 MiFis, I'm sure they have phones as well to communicate back and forth, which would be honestly very important in the situation. They have that ability to pay for that on their own or also on the city as well, and still save a ton of money compared to being the average customer in the network. So, some also to consider.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, matters in the public audience. Tom?
I've got a question on the water meter system.
Okay.
One of the things about it is supposed to have been able to have the capability to notify you if you have a leak. And the other day, of course, Julie and I both been using a lot of water, and it just dawned on me, we've never received no phone call for excess water going through our meter. So I was wondering what the problem was with the shortcoming with the system, or...
We'll talk with you.
I can answer.
Oh, you can?
That's okay.
Okay, sure.
It is set at a certain level, I don't know how much without looking at the system, and I don't work in the water department anymore. But, if you go in and ask for a printout, they can show you the graph, and if it does not reach a certain amount, it's not gonna kick out. So what is excess for you might not be actually what the system is set at is, I mean, if you're using 8,000 gallons a day, it's gonna kick out, and Lindsay's gonna call you and say, what's going on? If you usually use 50 gallons a day, and you use 75 or 80, it probably is not going to kick out at that.
Throwing the garden hose out and letting it run full force for like 6 hours and watering my big evergreens. Putting the hose up that evening, I said, I never got no phone call, and I should have.
Well, and you won't until the next day, because it reads, we get a reading up until midnight.
This has been 2 weeks ago now.
Like I said, we would have to look at it to see what your reading actually was, but if, and Craig might be able to tell you what that's set at, I don't know offhand.
I'm not sure what they got them set up, because the commercials are different than the residentials and what levels.
And Melissa would be able to answer all of that if you wanted to come in and talk to her tomorrow or give her a call. She can tell you. Lindsay gets a list every morning and she goes through it and she
Are
does
they
call
set at a
people.
percentage? In other words, if you usually use 4 units, then is it just like 10% higher, 20% higher?
I believe it's set at a certain amount of gallons. But again, I can't answer for certain. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an answer there, but Melissa will be able to answer that for you.
Now,
Go ahead.
follow up to his, do you know, or Craig, whoever, do you know what the procedure is if they can't get a hold of you? Say you're out of town, you got a water break, they can't call you.
We had that Friday, actually.
Or you're out.
Lindsay had a list of people that she could not get a hold of, and Jason Miles actually went door to door and knocked on it, and one place he couldn't find anybody, and he actually went to a neighbor, found somebody that was in a different town. I mean, we were able to take care of it.
I just wondered if you would figure out, you know, if they were out of town, just turn the water off, you know.
That happens a lot.
Does it?
We'll actually go just turn the water off, and we got blue door hangers now that we designed, and we'll hang one of them on the door that says, hey, we'll shut your water off, you can pass water.
I got one other thing there. Of course, Story's not here. I was gonna thank him for coming down to my neighborhood. I guess a week ago, I had two neighbors at odds with each other and sitting on my doorstep wanting me to be referee.
Wow.
And I called Don and he took care of it.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm glad to hear that, Don does that more than I want to admit. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm here with Azavar.
I called your name and you were tardy.
What's that?
I called your name and you were not here.
Oh, okay.
I can put you on next agenda, next week.
2 weeks.
Mayor, got a couple
Yes.
questions for clarification. I wanna get home and see the game too, but, one, you mentioned that, time is not of the essence on the, legalization of marijuana. Does the city not have to take action on this one way or another by the end of the year?
There's action to be taken, and we feel like that we do have time to take action. We went to seminars and, just briefly tell you, there's not gonna be one penny sent from the state of Illinois to anyone in the state until next September, first of all, okay? There's so many things that's cropped up here just in the last 6 weeks with the law, how it's gonna be regulated, how it's gonna be delegated, and quite frankly, a lot of the communities are just in a fog right now. That's why we're going to these meetings like tomorrow at Glen Lake, and we'll probably be going to more than that as time goes on. So, as far as us not taking action by the end of the year, I don't think that's the reason that we didn't take action tonight. We're gonna be sure about a few extra things. An article just came out in Southern, I think it's finished today. Yesterday. And, it lists, we didn't know this, it listed the 6 or 7 blighted areas in Southern Illinois, and it actually listed the cities, you know, and the part of the city where the state wants to, you know, to put a facility, and what if the city doesn't want it there? I mean, you know, we've got major decisions to make, and we're gonna make intelligent decisions. I think just, you know, shooting from the hip and saying yes or no is really not the thing to do right now. I know a mayor or two have made commitments that they weren't gonna do it, and they told it again, and they are gonna do it now, they aren't gonna do it, and frankly, it's just been a quandary, so.
Thank you. And the other question is, the grant for the water project, I'm assuming that's North Main?
Yes.
Yes, it's actually from, Petroff Road to the IDNR office.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, when's the iPhone 11's gonna drop in price?
Hold your breath.
Put some agenda for next year.
When the 12 comes out?
Yeah, there you go.
If you got direct TV, give me.
May I have permission to speak?
Certainly.
a teacher here in Franklin County for 38 years. I'm representing today the Quails Upland Game Alliance. And I brought this to you so you know what we represent and what we're doing. These are two items and we have set up to do a raffle here at the festival that you're going to have. And we always get to display what we're doing is we're raffling off a rifle and a hunting shotgun. And we always get to display it for people to see it when they come in. And I've gone through the paperwork here, and they tell me that you're not gonna let me do that. So I'm petitioning the board to allow me to, we really need to do that. And you understand that the quail and the rabbits are really disappearing. And this organization we recently put together for the purpose of trying to do everything we can to save the quail and the rabbit. That's our goal. And in our organizations, we raise more money by raffling off the hunting guns than we do any other way. And so I'm just trying to let you know we're no danger to anybody. And nobody gets to touch the gun. The gun is only for display. It's not for people to come up and touch it in any way. And there's no ammunition. It's, it won't be any way of firing it or anything. And of course, if you want one of your policemen to come by and check us and see how we're doing and what we're doing, we'll be happy on that. And we'll try to follow their instructions as they're supervising the festival. And I also wanted to tell you that we've set a goal to go all the festivals we can. We've been to 6 thus far, and all those people have allowed us to display our hunting guns that we're raffling off. So that's just what I just wanted to put it to you, so you're educated and know what we're doing, and that you can have a handle on it, and we will cooperate in any way that you want us to.
Adrian, Brooks is sending me a note, says no guns allowed in the park per Kyle Melvin, who's the deputy that's investigating police person. So I'm thinking what probably happened is that we had in the past, we've had the festival on the square, and there's no restrictions for guns there.
All right. Well, I do have another thing that I'll introduce to you. I'm an old timer. I'm 75 years old.
Yeah.
And I know a lot about Benton. I grew up here all my life. At the park, which I love, and my park is not your park. My park is the one out at the lake. And that's a wild area out there. I love it. I know you guys are going to sell it. That's what you're up to. But that's a wild area. We don't have very many wild areas. Mm-hmm. It's a jewel in our county. It's worth a lot of money, and it'll be worth more money to you later on than it will be now. And I think that you should save that for posterity and for our children to love and enjoy like I did. But this is the thing I want to tell you, that there was once upon a time a shooting range out there.
Yes, there was.
Which was taken away from us. And our country wouldn't be great today if it wasn't for our young men who learned how to use firearms all their life. Like me, I'm a veteran. And when we go into start taking our training, we already know guns, and we already know how to take them apart, put them together. We know how to make them work. And we have been the best soldiers in the world for that. And I have had students who went to Iraq, and they said that their guys couldn't hit the side of a barn. But when we shot our guns, we hit our target.
Okay.
And that's why that we made it. And a shooting range is a good thing for our country. It's not detriment. It's security. It's national security.
Thank you very much. You want to make a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, continue the meeting,
we're
those
gonna,
say?
no, we're gonna table that. We're tabling, yeah, yeah.
Because Tom is gonna come first.
Well, he can still come. I'm sure there's somebody you can meet with here, but I make a motion that we adjourn meeting.
Yes.
Everybody,